All right, welcome in, boys. We are not live for Take It to the Bank, Texas NASCAR Outright Show. We're recording it right now while Matt and Kush do the MLB in-game show. I got my guy Meyer here with me. Adam Meyer, what's going on, buddy? Listen, man, listen. It's been a rough 6 weeks, more so for me than you. But the first way to start turning the ship around is to not drop money in a weekend. And last week, I did not lose money after everything was said and done. Thanks to the NFL draft, thanks to Austin Hill, and thank you to Jocelyn Edwards. Those three things got me through where I didn't really lose money, didn't make a lot. But hey, man, it's got to start here. It's got to start somewhere, my guy.
Hey, I mean, you keep making the right plays. It's bound to turn around. It's not like you're betting things that are egregious. It's just variance in the worst streak possible.
So we were on Ryan Priest at the end of that race at like 16-1 last week. He ends up getting disqualified. So even if he would have won, I don't remember if I bet it at Caesars, but had I, that might have been what finally did me, Meyer.
I know. I treaded carefully with.
Oh my God!
I think if it was even if it was at 365, I think he would have got regraded as a loss.
So we had Stenberg come on the show. That was a fucking treat. I had said, yeah, what do you want me to tell you? Austin Cindric is a Nepo baby, blah, 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 blah. The one good format he's good in, I guess, are super speedways. He ends up getting it done. But, I mean, like, you know, the point still stands.
So, well, I mean, what are we going to do? Like, do we have to just bet Love and Hill every single time we're in that package? It's just crazy.
Oh, for Saturday? Yeah. I mean, yes. It would have been nice for us to get Jesse Love home at like 6-1. I think we ended up getting Hill home in a parlay at like 5-1, which we'll take. But would have been nice to get that guaranteed with Love. All right. Last week was rough because it was a super speedway, ton of uncertainty. Now we get back to more of a normal race. We're at a normal cookie cutter 1.5 intermediate at Texas, much like Vegas, much like Charlotte, much like Kansas, and so on. So this year, there's been some surprise. I guess the only true track that we've been to so far that would fit the script is what? Vegas?
Probably the best comp, yeah, I would say.
Because, like, Homestead is 1.5 miles, right? But it's a little different.
Darlington's 1.5 miles too, right?
Yeah, but the tire wear at Darlington is crazy, and you know, it's not really a fair comp to Texas.
Yeah, I think Vegas is your closest.
Yeah. So let me pull up real quick the results to that race. I just want to see.
That was the one that Josh Berry won, if you remember.
Right. All right, here we go. Yeah, that's the one. Right. Johnny, we told him to get on Josh Berry at 25-1 late, which was crazy. And he ended up getting it done. Daniel Suarez, solid. Ryan Priest ended up being the top Ford. But
Berry was the top Ford.
Oh, Josh Berry, right. Duh.
Yeah, but this was the one, if you remember, right, that Suarez was leading up front, but we just knew Berry had the better short run speed and was going to run by Suarez at the end. We
Was this
couldn't get on it because we were grayed out.
right? Was this one of the races earlier in the year where Blaney was really good but got screwed? Because there were so many.
Yeah, he had an accident. Finished stage 2 and 6.
Finished stage 2 and 6. Yeah, I have to go back and watch some of that race.
Yeah, he
But
only ran 194 laps.
from a manufacturer standpoint, I would probably rank it Chevy, Toyota, Ford. Where would you be this week?
One more time, how would you rank it?
Chevy, Toyota, Ford.
Yes, I think I'd agree. I would agree with that, yes. But would you really rank it HMS, Toyota, and then Ford? Don't you
Yes.
feel like Chevy's really condensed?
Yes. But I think all four could legitimately win the race this week.
Yeah, none of them would shock me.
No. So I would rate it Chevy, Toyota, Ford. Yeah. I mean, yes, you would say, I guess, HMS, but like, you know, Daniel Suarez was good at Vegas. And if you look, he's like fourth in average finish here. He could show up, wouldn't shock me. Hocevar's been pretty good here. Justin Haley's been pretty good here. Like, are they going to have race winning speed? Allmendinger's been pretty good here. Race winning speed? Probably not. But like, man,
Well, the 7
Daniel
car
Suarez.
loses
Suarez
Rodney
has been,
Childers.
yeah, true. But like, I think I said that. I think he's only had one top 10 this year. So like, don't get me wrong. I know Rodney Childers is great. 40 wins, I think, at the Cup level. He was the crew chief in 2014 for Kevin Harvick. I mean, he's one of the really, really solid guys on the box in NASCAR. But they weren't really doing anything great anyway. So I
Right. I guess all I'm saying is I would think that there's a little bit of even more regression coming from a new crew chief stepping in.
yeah, but I mean, like, at least it's a crew chief that I think he was the crew chief before Childers took over the job, wasn't he? Ryan Sparks.
I'd have to look up and confirm. I don't want to give you bad info, but yeah, I mean, I think it was only like what 7 weeks that this went down.
Yeah. Suarez has been surprising because like he showed up with speed in Vegas. And when he's fourth in average finish in the next gen era at 8.3. He's been rock solid. But anyway, yeah, so that's how I would rank the manufacturers this week. I guess you agree. Going through the odds, I absolutely believe that Will Byron deserves to be the favorite in this race.
100% agree. He is not the current favorite, but I 100% agree with you.
He is at Bet365.
Oh, those lines must have moved. I think he's 6-1 at MGM and Larson's 475.
Yeah, they're both, I think, 4-1 at
Yeah.
at Bet365. Byron's 4-1 actually. Larson is 5-1. Yeah, I mean, Will Byron, he's a fucking beast. He's a monster at this track. He's so good.
Did you know what his average finish here is?
3.5, I think.
3.7.
In the next gen era. Finished third here last year, won the race in 2023, finished top 7 in 2022. When you take a look at what he's done in terms
You know
of
that he has the best average finish in the next gen car on mile and a half, I think. At intermediates. I mean, the guy is.
I mean, he was the second fastest car at Phoenix. He was the second fastest car at Vegas, the fourth fastest car at Homestead, the fastest car at Darlington. Like, what are we even talking about? He's
and you know who can't finish a race? Kyle Larson.
Yeah, he's going through it right now. Although he did finish second at
He
Talladega.
certainly did. And he did finish the race at Bristol.
Hey, not for nothing, bro. We had like 2 guys that finished in the top 10 in that race to be the top Chevy at 25-1. There just happened
Never
to be
had a shot.
there just happened to be 5 Chevys in front of them.
All like the 5 favorites too. I mean, what are you gonna do?
All 4 Hendrick cars got up there. It's
Yeah,
just crazy.
what they say it was only the first time in like since 2011 that there's only been 4 cautions, counting the stage cautions.
Yep.
Have you seen a cleaner Talladega? Like nobody wanted to pass.
And think about they were going 4 wide for half the race, it felt like.
And
3
then
wide.
Larson and Byron and Bowman are just running 2-3-4 or 3-4-5 and don't even try to make a move. I mean, what are we doing?
Crazy. I mean, how about Joe? Did you see the Chipper Jones and Joey Logano thing?
I did. That was that made me laugh.
What were your thoughts on that?
I can't like I don't get why Joey blew up. Like it's easy to overreact in the moment, but like you have no idea what your teammate like actually did to not wreck you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just fitting. It's Joey. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's just fucking that's Joey.
Yeah, I mean, just think about that later down the road when you actually do need the guy's help. You know, I think it just does more harm than good. But
right. All right, so back to the odds. Yeah, I mean, I totally get why Will Byron is the favorite. I'm looking at Bet 365 where he is the favorite, but I'll pull up those BetMGM odds real quick and we'll look at those.
yeah, so I went back and rewatched the race from last year, and I mean, just a comedy of errors. So Kyle Larson puts 8 seconds on the field in stage 1. The only one who kept it even remotely close to him was Ty Gibbs. I think that Larson had 8 seconds on the field, and I think Gibbs was like a 1.5, maybe cycled to 2 seconds back by the end of the stage. Then they get to stage 2, and somewhere in the middle of that stage, I believe there's a caution after Larson's ran, I don't know how many laps, and his tire just comes off the car. They didn't go down pit road and it falls off. It was 30, 40 laps into a run. It just comes off, which puts him, he has to serve a 2-lap penalty. He ends up getting back on the lead lap later on in the race, but he said once he was stuck back in traffic, the car just had no turn. So same thing happened to Blaney. Blaney got in the back of the field, and he said the same thing. Once their car was back in that really dirty air in the 20th and back, no passing.
Yeah, I mean he's fast everywhere. I mean, like
Right.
he was the fastest guy at Vegas this year. At
Right.
least
I still get the why he's like 550 or down to 450 at some books. Like he should be right there with Byron. I think that if his wheel doesn't fall off, I mean, I think he wins that race.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would put him right there with Byron. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Those 2 guys. How much better are they going to be than Bowman and Elliott? I don't know. I mean, like Elliott's won here before in the next gen era, and Alex Bowman has shown phenomenal speed this year to open up the year on these intermediate tracks. So,
Well, didn't he win? Didn't Elliott win here last year?
I believe it was last year. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that was just more a byproduct of being the beneficiary of a timely caution because he was stuck back in the field and wasn't really passing. He got kind of cycled to the front in some pit cycles, and once he got up in clean air, the car is just completely different. I don't think he led a lot of laps. I mean, the same
Oh,
thing was good for Tyler Reddick.
he won this race last year, and
Yeah.
he ran around in the top in 2024, not 2023.
But yeah, I watched last year's back. I'm
Yeah,
just
he
trying to.
won. Yeah, he won that race, but he ran around in the top 10 all day long.
Okay, well, I remember that Reddick had Reddick did the same thing that Larson did in stage 2. Reddick exited the field by 8+ seconds, was running 4/10 faster than the car in second when he was 8 seconds out. So this track it's all about clean air, right? If you get up in the front, like it's the same thing that we see at all these mile and a half, right? You just
Right,
kind of just go away.
right, right. But
So it
I think I agree with you that I would put like those two guys at HMS above the other two, but I do think that the other two could be really good also in this race.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. None of them winning would shock me, but I do think that it's a Byron Larson
Yep.
1A 1B.
Yep. After them, Reddick at 7-1. That makes sense to me. I mean, he's been top 3 in speed on intermediates for the last 2 years, basically, overall. And then, like, if you look at, he was the 3rd fastest guy at Vegas this year, 3rd fastest guy at Darlington this year. He was in the top 8 at Homestead and Phoenix. And at Texas last year, he was the fastest guy on track, according to iFantasy. So, I mean, yeah, I think he's another one of those guys that's going to be out front. Like, he's going to be up there and have the ability to run away. Like at worst, he qualifies what? In the top 4 rows, probably. You would
Yeah, I would agree. He would qualify up there.
like he makes sense to me. And like again, another 23XI car that's been phenomenal on intermediates. Bubba Wallace can make some noise. He was great at a couple of the intermediates earlier this year. So like
Yeah,
I
he's
kind of don't you kind of feel like HMS 2311, like all 6 of those guys I could see winning?
yeah. I mean, so the crazy that like Bubba is literally one step behind Reddick in adjusted speed at these intermediates. I mean, he's just been phenomenal. I mean, think about the days that we were betting him at 100-1 to be top Toyota. Like
Yeah,
he's been really solid.
he's 16-1 at bet 365 to win the race.
Yeah, I saw him at like 20 at some places, but like they had. So when I got up this morning, and this we can talk more about this in the prop show stuff, but he opened at like 45-1 for the fastest lap. Like,
Bubba,
yeah. I mean, he's just now you definitely got to be a front runner, I think, to get that. But
they are they doing away? What are the most fastest laps basically mimicking like Byron at 8-1? Most fastest laps is interesting when his number is 4-1 right now at bet 365.
I bet it this morning at 14 or 18.
Well, it's a lot less appealing now.
18-1. It opened at 25. I bet
Yeah.
him at 18 and Blaney at 14. I couldn't bet Larson. I figured I'll try to do something with Larson later. But anyways, yeah, they did bring those back. I was curious after 2-week hiatus if they would actually bring those back, and they did.
Well, missed that. That sucks.
You got to be up early. Those things dropped at 5 in the morning. You either need to make a decision to stay up through the night, Keg, or set an alarm. But they do open overnight.
After Reddick, Denny Hamlin. I mean, he's fast. I think a couple of the Gibbs cars could probably win this week. He's one of them. He was the second fastest at Texas in 2024. But he didn't show a ton of speed at Vegas earlier this year.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Denny. Like, there's somebody else I think I would bet before Denny.
Chase Briscoe.
Not a Toyota.
Oh, well. Ryan Blaney.
Well, yes, for sure. Just based off of his 1.5 speed, yeah. But we could talk when we get through some of these other odds where it is. But Denny, I'm not in a rush to bet Denny at 8-1. Like, since track position means so much here, like I just don't know how well he qualifies. Do you think he qualifies in the first 2 rows?
I don't know. He could.
Now, I mean, this track has kind of a it does tend to have more cautions than your normal 1.5 miles, right? I mean, I think there was 10 last year. That bump coming out of, I think it's turn 2 or turn 3 spins a lot of these cars out. So with higher cautions in the a lot of different strategies that we see, like how many people do you think you want to have outright going into the race before we know the grid?
I would want to have a ticket on HMS, a ticket on 2311. Maybe Gibbs, if I can get the numbers up on them.
Yeah, I mean 23xi won't be tough. I mean that's 6-1.
Yeah, the tough one's going to be HMS, but
Yeah, they were 175 when I looked earlier today.
I kind of feel like you have to get that number up.
I mean, what do you think about Bell? Bell's right there, same odds as Denny. He's been good here. I don't know if the results are truly indicative of what he's been able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are probably 3 guys on Gibbs that if they come with it, they could win. Briscoe's been phenomenal here. Obviously, you always have to take Denny seriously, and Bell's a freak. So, like, if you can get the number up on Gibbs, that wouldn't be bad either. Like, I want to say that all these cars qualify well, but then you just have those Fords that come out of nowhere. Like Josh Berry at 22-1 or whatever the best number is out there is probably my favorite long shot based on the speed he's shown earlier in the year. But like, I don't know, like some of these Fords, it wouldn't shock me if they qualified well. But then when you look at the average starting position of the guys that have the best average finish, and it's hit or miss. Like Chase Briscoe's got the 3rd best average finish. He starts 22nd on average. Suarez, the 4th best. He starts 12th on average. Like, and then you obviously have Byron, who's in the top 10. But just because you start in the top 10 really doesn't mean anything.
Right, because of how many cautions and how often this field gets switched. And yeah, I agree with you. I think it's and like I thought Briscoe would be better this year so far. Like has he put together an entire race off the top of your head that he was a standout in?
He hasn't been great.
I don't know if it's just the adjustment to Marty's car because they used to set it up so much different for Marty or what. But
His average running position, or actually his average speed rank on all high-speed 1.5 miles since the start of 2024 is 24th. But when you look at what he's done at Texas, I mean, he's been really strong.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's just him still adjusting to that car because Marty set it up so different or what.
Could be.
He hasn't
Could
really
be.
stood out.
Yeah, I mean, there's without question, when you think about what Truex did with that car last year, without question, he's been disappointing this year. I mean,
Right.
that's not even up for debate. Um, yeah, I guess we talked about Bell. We mentioned Elliott, Bubba. Well, Ryan Blaney. I mean, I think Blaney is a rocket ship. He's gonna. I don't know if the number at 7-1 is short. I don't know. That might be a little short, but I mean, he's been so fast this year everywhere.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we talked about it a couple of times this year already. It's like it doesn't matter on these tracks that you can't pass at. His car just seems to cut through the field different. It's just different. He just keeps finding his way back into the field and having to drive up through. I think this could be a race if he qualifies well and he gets out front and he could put 10 seconds on the field like Larson. And if there's just no fuckery in this race, he could just dead the field.
yeah, he can.
He
Earlier
does
this year,
he does qualify late, right? Because he wrecked out at Talladega pretty early.
I have to look at J-Ski. I could tell you that. But earlier this year at Vegas, Will Byron was on his own planet in terms of quality passes. And the guy in second, who had the second most quality passes at Vegas earlier in the year, I think was Josh Berry.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love Byron this week. I will have a Byron ticket. I'm on him to be the pole winner. I'm on him to have the most fastest laps. Um, I will have an outright some way, shape, or form on him.
Um, we talked about Bubba. Where you at on Logano this week at 18-1?
No interest.
Fords have been faster this year than last year. That's the one thing I'll say. Like, I think he could definitely run around in the top 10 here. No doubt.
Yeah, I think he's a perennial top 10 guy here too.
But I don't know if he'll have like that race winning speed. But Ford's been a lot faster to start the year than last year. Gibbs, I just never have interest in Ty Gibbs.
Quickly become an anti-Gibbs channel. You hate to see it.
I mean, when you look at how fast he was last year, it's crazy. But he sucks this year. Chastain 20-1. Where you at on him?
That's the guy I was going to say, and I would bet him before Denny and Bell. He's good here.
But has he been good anywhere this year?
I know that's the problem. It's like how much do you weight the year versus the track?
I kind of think your current speed matters a lot. Like we've now been to a road course, cookie cutter, short tracks, super speedways. We've been everywhere. Like, has he been fast anywhere?
So, so just going back to the just in the next gen car at Texas, he started 12th, finished 13th in 2022, but he finished stage one at fifth, stage two and second. I'd have to go back and see what happened in stage three, why he fell back. He started fifth in 2023, finished the race in second. He started 12th in the 2024 race, and then he wrecked out after leading 33 laps. He wrecked. So
He's basically been basically the very last guy in the top 10 in terms of speed at every conventional oval this year except Homestead. He was 11th at Phoenix, 9th at Vegas, 9th at Martinsville, 9th at Darlington.
The problem
He's
with
u-
Ross is he never qualifies well.
He's usually better on like tracks where a tire that wears. I guess Texas wears probably a little bit more than most normal mile-and-a-half tracks.
When I watched last year's race back, I think Denny started the pit stops in stage 1 clean, and that was around lap 36.
Yeah. So I guess it makes sense that he's run well here.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I think it's an interesting play at the number, but I would definitely not bet him before qualifying because he just doesn't qualify well.
Where you at on KB this week?
I just can't bet him to win.
Yeah, it's
Like,
kind of wild.
I just have to wait and see like what does he show in practice because like last year, you said Reddick was the fastest in the speed ranks. Reddick was the standout in practice. So I mean, it just kind of depends on where they qualify well because Reddick didn't really make a lot of quality passes until he got back up towards the front. And the further you are back in the field, just the tougher it is. They say the cars just completely are set up different. They just can't run well back there. And they were saying the same thing about Larson. So like Larson's car was set up running on the pole, so it was just set up to run well in clean air. And then when those cars fall back in the field, they don't drive through the field like you would think. So we were talking about the cautions and stuff earlier. So I went back and looked. Last year's race, 16 cautions, counting the stages. 2023, 11 cautions. And 2022, 16 cautions. So, I mean, it's kind of a hectic race for a 1.5.
Bro, it's crazy that Daniel Suarez is 60-1 in this race. And it's kind of crazy to me that Noah Gragson and Ryan Preece are 100-1 in this race.
Don't you feel like you'd want to see anything from Suarez first?
Yeah, but the problem is you just run that number will be insta cut in half at a minimum. Like you have to plant your flag on him well before practice and qualifying, whether or not you're going to do it, because then at that point it becomes not worth it. If he shows up, he'll be 25-1, and then it's a moot point.
I can't have a number. I can't have a ticket on Suarez. I don't think.
Top 5 speed at Vegas this year.
Yeah,
And he's a
wouldn't you
monster.
rather? Wouldn't you
He's a
rather bet
monster here.
if he's 60-1 to win the race? Wouldn't you rather bet his top 5 at 10-1?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily against that either. I also think that it's fucking nuts that Ryan Preece is 100-1. Why is he 100-1? He's been top 15 in speed at every fucking track.
Well, he's barely cracked the top. Well, he's 22nd and 19th in speed rank at Texas.
I'm talking about this year.
I know. I'm just saying, historically, he has not been fast.
Yeah, that's just some of these numbers are a little crazy to me.
I mean, Hocevar was 100-1. Those Chevys got speed.
Bro, look at AJ Allmendinger is 150-1. He was top 7 in Vegas, top 8 in speed at Homestead. Like what? Especially at a race that has 16 fucking cautions. Like what? How many cautions do they have on average? A dozen?
Well, I'm saying, so you go back to 3, it's 16, 11, and 16. Double digits the last 3 years.
Like the field might flip 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
They're just guys that have shown up with speed at just some crazy numbers out there. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that. I just feel like it's one of those things we're going to have to kind of adapt to on the fly. It's going to be one of those races we're going to have to watch who pit when, how many tires oh, I'm assuming everybody's going to take 4, but what's the laps on the tires? Like we're just going to have to be on everything in terms of what's going on in the race.
I think
I mean,
okay.
I was going to say there's definitely an opportunity where we could cash a bigger ticket than some of these the favorites right now, just due to how volatile this track has been historically.
From a value perspective, like I think on people that could probably really win the race, I would say that Berry, Bowman, and Bubba all around that 20 to 25 to 1 range are probably your 3 best shots to win this race at a price. But man, there are so many people that could show up with speed. Like Suarez, if he's anything remotely close to what he was at Texas last year or at Vegas this year, that number is fucking retarded. That number is a joke.
Yeah, I looked on JSK. I don't see the qualifying order yet.
Like Hocevar could show up with speed at 80 to 1. So, but the problem is, like, they won't even pay you out on these top 5s. Like, I guess 10 to 1's not terrible.
DK doesn't even have those up yet.
Suarez at 220 to top 10's not terrible.
I'm surprised it's that low when it's 60,
Yeah,
bro.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he's 80 to 1 at it. Hocevar is 80 to 1 at BetMGM, but his top 10 at Bet365 is only 3 to 1. That's crazy. But he is 60 to 1 here, not 80. But whatever. Where are you at
Yeah,
on
I mean, I think you're 100% right here. You know what? We looking over at our guys over at Win the Race, looking at their adjusted speed in the intermediate package. It's Byron, Blaney, Larson, Reddick, Bubba, Bowman.
Yeah.
And all that feels spot on.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. So I think my goal is to have an HMS ticket in my pocket, get the number up there. Probably try to get the number up slightly on 2311. Probably try to get the number up slightly on maybe Gibbs. I kind of feel like Gibbs isn't going to be the winner in this race, but at the same time, like if they show up with speed, any one of those guys could bury you. Denny or Chris Bell could just literally put your entire weekend in a coffin. So I think those would be the 3 guys try to get the numbers up on those 3 teams. Ideally, if you can get them all 10 to 1, that would be awesome. I'll probably use MMA, or maybe Xfinity if we see something that we like. But in terms of like, I think like if you were able to get the 18 to 1 on Byron most fastest laps like Meyer, that was good. But I don't know, it kind of feels like Larson, Byron, and I just can't deny Blaney's speed right now on the racetrack. I would, and then I guess my 4th guy would be Reddick. I would probably put those 4 guys in a class by themselves and then everybody else. But the problem is everybody else is like probably 10 people that are going to come with speed. There are so many guys like a Josh Berry, if Suarez shows up, Bowman, Elliott. There's just so many people that could show up. Chastain.
Yeah,
So,
I agree completely. That's kind of where I'm so hesitant to like how many outrights do I want to have before P and Q? But the longer you wait, the less options you got in terms of like what you want to do to get certain numbers up if you have to. I think if you
Bro.
want to plant your flag on HMS and 23XI right now, no issues, and maybe you wait until P and Q and do
Where you
something with
at?
those adjusted numbers.
Where are you at on Roush? Like Roush is the one. They're the one team. Like both Keselowski and Busher.
Keselowski's fantastic at Texas. I think he has the second best average finish.
Right. Like
But
they've
that
both.
car is dog shit slow.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. Like, I mean, the since 2020, he's been ninth, sixth, second, fourth, ninth, eighth, seventh, second. He hasn't been outside the top 10 in 7 races, 8 races. But here's the problem. He sucks. There's no speed in that car, bro. He's outside the top 30 in speed at like almost every fucking track, or at least around there.
And we can't say it's RFK because look what Priest has done. Look what
And
Busher has done.
I mean, Busher has been better than him, but still hasn't been great. But he's been better than him, but not as good as I thought he would have been this year. And then Priest is like, they're both right outside the top 15. Him and Priest right next to each other in average speed. But the problem is Brad Keselowski's like 28th.
Right. I'm saying he's the worst one of the 3.
Right. But he's undeniable here. Like, I get that. But I can't bet him. Like, how do you bet him?
I can't bet him at 22-1 when Bowman is the same price.
Knowing that Bowman is so much faster than him this year. And but then where are you at on Busher? Like, again, he's another guy that when you look at his average finish, you're like, nah. But like, look at the 3 races. Like he could show up. He could show up, run around in the top 5 all day like he did in 2023. He finished 14th, but I'm sure he could have finished.
He had the 3rd best speed ranks in 2023, so he definitely had a good car.
That's what I mean. Like, could they show up and just shit on your whole day? I guess, but I couldn't back them before a dozen other cars in this race.
Yeah, those two RFK cars are right behind the Gano and adjusted speed at intermediates. I mean, they're both one right ahead of Chase Elliott. So I mean, they're definitely live here, and like you said, we could have an opportunity if you're going to show us 16 cautions or even 10 cautions. It could come down to any kind of pit road strategy, and any of these guys are live. And
For
it doesn't
sure.
matter what guy we're on.
Or the field can flip and the fastest cars on the racetrack are running 25, 26, 22, and 18.
And can't pass. And we saw a perfect rendition of this earlier. Remember when Byron exited the field for 224 laps and then he falls back to 3rd and he can't pass anybody?
Right.
Was that the Vegas race that Barry won?
It might.
Or was that the race that Hamlin won?
I'm not sure.
I'd have to go back and look, but I mean, he led. They were saying that he could have led every single lap of that race. He would have wired the entire race, and then he got back into 3rd on one slow pit stop and never make the track position back.
But I definitely feel based on some of these cars, like some of the odds on some of these long shots, if the field flips, it's going to be real hard to pass AJ Allmendinger at 150-1. If he comes with the speed that he's came with on some intermediates this year, it's going to be hard to pass Berry. It's going to be hard to pass Suarez. Like, it's going to be hard to pass all these guys, man, because there are not a lot of people making quality passes for the lead these days in 2025.
It's just hard to pass in general, regardless of how good your car is.
Yeah, so
we might be able. Tires don't matter.
We might be able to catch a price.
Yeah, so I agree with your ranking. If you're going to rank them, what do you say your top 4 was? Byron, Larson, Blaney, Reddick.
Yeah, I would probably put them in a a half step above the other guys we think that could contend in this race.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where I land as well. I don't think that I kind of want to see where Denny and some of these other guys qualify before I would take them.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back for the prop show on Thursday night. We have trucks on Friday night.
We got the whole gamut. We got trucks, Xfinity, Cup, F1, you name it. You want to bet it? We got it.
Oh yeah, we got F1. We got MMA.
PFL.
Should be. Oh yeah, I forgot about PFL. Yeah, it should be a fun weekend. Hopefully, we can make some money this weekend. And that's it. Tomorrow night, I think Kushner will be back with Sean for some NBA live betting. Then we'll be back on Thursday night for the prop show. And then Friday night, we'll see you guys back here for the truck race. So for Meyer, I'm Keg. We'll see you guys on Thursday. We're out. Later, boys.